is a pleasure being here with all these lovely women and with you, Jerry, that you also have been an inspiration to me on how, when I met you, you say you were going to write your book and you already did, and you wrote too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Connie Magruder. Like Jerry says, I am a realtor here in Southern California. And I thank Jerry so much for this opportunity to talk about this passion of ours, because I include Jerry because I see the love in her face every time we go and we visit these children in Mexico. And let me tell you about Genesis Dream Foundation. It started back in 2012 when out of a big situation that I ran across in my life, I I was drawn to these children because before 2008, I didn't know these children existed. So one time, this is my story. My story is that I have been married for over 25 years, and I wanted to have almost on my 25th year. In November 10th is going to be my anniversary. So I am married to this wonderful man, Kendall, and I wanted to have children. Like many of you that are mothers, you know that the desire of a woman is always to have children. And I went through a lot of things, through a lot of situations to be able to have a child. I knew at the beginning of my marriage that the doctor told me that I might be infertile, and I relayed that to my uh, to be husband, and I said to him, you know what, I don't think I will be able to have children. And he said to me, he looked to me in my eyes and he said, I'm not marrying you because of the children that you're going to give me. I'm marrying you because of the heart you have for God and for others. And at that moment I knew that this guy was going to be the right guy to keep. And until now, we prove it, and we have our ups and downs, and like every other marriage, and I should say like every marriage, not every other marriage, but until here we are standing firm and we are loving each other every day. And so my journey in trying to get a child, because I had a very stubborn personality and I wanted to have a child of my own. So I went through all the scenarios. I went through in vitro fertilization. I went through, tried to do acupuncture, herbs. I mean, you name it. Whatever people will tell me, if they will tell me to go and jump in the ocean or do a flip or whatever they will tell me. But my desire deep in my heart was to have a child. I could picture my child. I will go sometimes to bed crying to God, why there's so many women that they don't want their children and they abort their children and they get rid of them and they give them away, and they throw them in the trash cans, and here I am with a passion, with a heart for to be a mother, and I can have a child. So years went by, and I lived many years frustrated, angry, and I lived in this sense of abandonment from God. And I love God, and I knew that He loved me, but I just had a sense that I was kind of left out. But little I knew that he had a bigger plan for me. Years later, one of my aunts in Mexico City, she called me and she said, "Guess what? There's a lady that is going to have a baby. She's about 7 months pregnant, and I talked to her about you, and you can come and see how you can get this baby, because this lady was going to be aborting that baby. And I said, oh, no, I can rescue that baby. So I did everything I could. I flew back to Mexico, back and forth. I met the lady. We became good friends. And we saw that it was a really great bond between the two of us. So she was a very humble lady, and she was very poor. That's why she couldn't take care of her baby. So she decided to for me to be the second mom, because she didn't want to give up her baby, but she said, if you will take my baby, I will give it to you, and we'll be both their mother. I mean, his mother. And she went and she had the baby boy. I was there at the birth. That was the most exciting time of my life, and the happiest of my life, because finally I saw that I was going to be a mother. So I held the baby. I nursed the baby, because the lady, she couldn't nurse him, so I gave him his bottle and I changed his diapers, and I took care of him for about 15 days. So I did hire an attorney in Tijuana, Mexico, and he told me to bring the baby back to Tijuana, because that's where it was going to be a lot easier for the paperwork to do for the baby. And I was unaware of the laws in Mexico. And so I was doing all this by myself, because my husband was staying at home, taking care of business, and he was going to go pick me up in Tijuana. So then we met in Tijuana. He met the baby. Again, I felt like I was floating in the air with my brand new baby. He was 15 days old, and he was the most beautiful baby I ever seen. And so we were the happy family. From there, we went to try to get the passport for the baby, and all of a sudden, we stayed there for a few hours. Because minutes turn into 1 hour, and then 1 hour turned into a couple hours, and couple hours turned into a few hours. So I got very nervous, because I didn't know what was going on. I thought I had all the paperwork and the way that the attorney had told me. And but again, I didn't know that what was coming up to me. So the consul came and she said, Mrs. Magruder, this paperwork that you did is not the right way to do it. You got to go back to Mexico City. You got to do the paperwork through the international adoption. And she explained to me how to do it. And at that point, I was like so frustrated. And I said, well, if I have to do it, we will go and do it, because we are going to have this baby, and this baby is going to come with us to our new home. So then she sent us back to Mexico. And my husband and I, as soon as we got out of the embassy, the US embassy, there were already like 20 policemen, all waiting for us, telling us to stop, you're under arrest. And I couldn't understand why. Our whole world dropped at that moment. And so we didn't know. And my husband, more than anything, because he didn't speak the language, so everything was in Spanish. And I say, what happened? And the officer said, you're under arrest for trying to for trafficking a baby, or for trafficking a child. And at that moment, I didn't know that I was becoming a target of a very incriminatory problem that that I thought I created. And so they took us back to a holding cell. There was a lot of things happening in between, but I know that I have to keep it short. They took us to a holding cell where my husband and I, we were holding each other only through the bars, because he was in the next cell and I was in the cell next to him. And all of a sudden, like an hour later, we have like 20 TV, all the publicity, all all the media was there to trash us and to tell us that we were this couple, that this horrible couple, that they were trying to kidnap or traffic this baby, to do horrendous things with this baby. I know that there's a lot of evil in the world, and I know that there's a lot of crimes against the children, but we were a legitimate couple that the only thing we wanted was to be happy and to love this child, give him a family, and give him the education and love and everything that nobody was going to be able to give him. So moving forward, we went through this trial. They kept us in Mexico for 47 days in the prison. And it's the most horrible prison in the world, Tijuana's prison. We fear for our lives because we thought that they were going to make us disappear. The authorities there in Mexico, they're very threatening. They will tell us, we're going to make you disappear because what you have done. And they kept, they incarcerated the mother, the doctors, me and my husband. So it was a big scandal. And to be short, everything after 47 days, the judge sent us back to our hometown, that was in Lancaster, where we spent 1 year in a trial, going back and forth to Tijuana, Mexico, and to sign. And after during that year, we started going through a missionary lady. We started going and visiting children from different homes, and that's where all the pain and all the sorrow that I felt, and the shame, because I did feel the shame, the pain, the sorrow. They took the baby away from me, and that was everything that I was doing it for. So when they took the baby from me, it was like they took a piece of my heart. So then I don't know where the baby, where they took the baby, but what I know is that God opened a door for me to see more babies and more children. And these children that have never been loved, or they haven't had a mother, or they had a mother, but the mother is in drugs or in prostitution, or they just get abandoned in these places called orphanages or homes. And we started going to see these children, and my heart started healing. So years later, I started bringing people over to these orphanages because they wanted to see the children. They wanted to be part of it. So that's how Genesis Dream Foundation started and was born. And it was because we kept coming to see these little children, and we met this little girl that her name was Genesis. So Genesis was our inspiration to open this beautiful foundation that over the years I've been gathering people to come across the border to get to meet the children. And now about 7 years ago, we started helping this home that is in Tijuana, that is taken care by two beautiful people, husband and wife, that they opened their home. Just like yours and mine, they decided one day to open their home, and now they are holding 18 children. All these children are neglected and being rescued from the streets of Tijuana, from mothers that are either alcoholic or prostitutes or in drug addiction. So now everything turned around, and now I am a mother of many. So the end of the story, and it's not even the end because right now I'm in the middle, but this story is not finished yet because we have a great labor to do with these children. And now I know, that the plans of God are for good, and not for evil. And whatever we do in our lives and whatever mistakes we make in our lives, sometimes those are platforms or those are steps for us to encounter the big plan that God has for us. So thank you, ladies. This is my story, and I do have a website, but I don't. I can post it on chat and on the chat, the website. And if anybody wants to join me for this big cause, right now one of the dreams that I have is to find some land, or find a home in Mexico, in Tijuana, so we can place these children, since they're only renting right now. And my dream is to build them a home where I can have this home open to have many other children to help in the future. Thank you, ladies, and God bless you.